Hi, it's Nicki and I'm back again for another top 10 list. And this time we're raising the cultural bar a little bit, considering that the one I filmed just now was Celebrity Crushes. And we're going to talk about Shakespeare. I am a huge Shakespeare fan. I've loved Shakespeare from the moment I first started reading his plays at school. I chose to do him as an elective at uni. When I lived in England, I used to go to the Globe. I watch any Shakespeare I can in filmed versions. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. And if you don't love Shakespeare, it's just because you've not been introduced to it the right way. Honestly, give it a chance. And don't just read it, watch it. It's all about watching it. Anyway, now that my little Shakespeare message is out there, let's talk about my favourite plays. In the number one spot, now and forever, Richard II. This may seem a really strange choice. It's not the best known play. However, it is the most beautiful for the poetry. The entire thing is written in poetry. Absolutely gorgeous, and with the right actor playing Richard II, it's absolute magic. I'm thinking of people like Mark Rylance, Ben Whishaw, Debbie Tennant. All of them have done absolutely amazing Richard II's. Number two, a slightly more obvious choice, Hamlet. I've always loved Hamlet. A great take on the revenge tragedy. Again, some really wonderful moments, memorable characters, brilliant lines, and another great role for an actor. I've seen so many Hamlets, both on film and on stage. The last one I saw live was Benedict Cumberbatch, who did really well. It's a good role for him. So moving on, Coriolanus is number three. Again, a slightly odd choice perhaps, that you may not have come across quite as much as some of the other plays. I fell in love with this play when I saw the screened version of the Donmar production with Tom Hiddleston as Coriolanus. And it has some absolutely brilliant moments again. And it's another one of these plays actually, in fact all the top three here, they all really rely on the actor you've got in that lead character, that title character. But again, some really great scenes and some really wonderful drama. You can really get into that story and really feel, you kind of think you shouldn't like Coriolanus, but you can't help but like him. Number four is Othello, so another pretty topical, obvious sort of pick. Again, such a memorable play and so many perfect moments, great drama. Another one actually that relies on the leads, and in fact this time it's not Othello, it's Iago. You have to have a good Iago for Othello to really kick off and work. Number five is Twelfth Night. So a bit more comedy. I mean, I've been very historical and tragic so far, haven't I? So a bit more comedy with Twelfth Night. I mean, the absolute pinnacle production for me was the Globe's version with Mark Rylance as Olivia. Beautiful, beautiful play and so funny. And it's one of those you have to watch. It's funny reading it, but you really have to see it to get the full humour. Number six, we're back to a bit of blood and gore and tragedy with Titus Andronicus. Now this one is a really over-the-top gore fest, which I really love because it's quite different from most of Shakespeare's stuff in that respect. It follows all the typical revenge tragedy kind of plot lines, and yeah, it's just, again, it's one that it works better when you can see it, because it's good when you get a great bit of blood and gore on the stage. There is the Julie Taymor, I think, version with Anthony Hopkins as Titus, which is worth seeing on film if you get the chance. Number seven, Love's Labour's Lost. So back to a bit of more light-hearted comedy again. I like this one because it's such a versatile play and you can do it in so many ways. If you want a really, really trimmed down light version of it to start you off, look out for the Kenneth Branagh film, because he turned it into a bit of a 1930s musical. So there's the Shakespeare lines, but then there's songs in between, and it's great fun. It's not a particularly traditional version of the play, but if you just want something really light and easy to give Shakespeare another try, that's a good one to go for. Number eight, Measure for Measure. So again, a slightly more, it's not a dark play in a way, but a more complex play, I guess you'd say. An interesting plot line, so again some really great moments, and I think this one jumped up my list when I saw a really awesome production with Mark Rylance as the Duke at the Globe. This is going back some years now, but it still sticks in my mind. It was that good. Number 9, Cymbeline. Again, one of the more interesting plays, and I think that's why they jump out at me, because sometimes, although I've got a couple of the popular favourites on my list, they're sometimes done to death, and it's nice to go to one of the lesser known plays and just really draw stuff from the language. Beautifully written speeches in this play. And finally, I couldn't quite narrow it down to one for number 10, so I hope you'll forgive me if I do Henry IV parts 1 and 2 and call them one entry. Henry IV is a great play. I'll talk about it collectively if you don't mind. Prince Hal is such an amazing character, as is Falstaff, and it's an actor thing again, because that interplay between them, if you've got the right actors in those roles, it is awesome. If you want to see a really great version of this, look no further than The Hollow Crown that was filmed for the BBC, and Tom Hiddleston played Prince Hal and Simon Russell Beale was Falstaff, and they worked beautifully together, and that is a really brilliant version of the two plays that you can see there. So that rounds off our Shakespeare top 10. I hope you've enjoyed it. What are your favourite Shakespeare plays? Do you like Shakespeare? If you don't, what is it about it that puts you off? If you love Shakespeare, feel free to gush away below in the comments, and I will reply to you all if I can. And I'd love to hear your choices for your top picks. And I will be back next time. Bye for now.